Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritnam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayesu Habadaresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naisake. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead is praised with transcendental songs. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28, Text 22, Chapter entitled Kapila's Instructions on Devotional Service. Ya chauchan nishrita sarit Pravaro Dakinam. Ya chauchan nishrita sarit Pravaro Dakinam. Tirtena murdni adikritena Siva Sivo Bhud. Tirtena murdni adikritena Siva Sivo Bhud. Dhyatur mana samala Saila nisrita vajram. Dhyatur mana samala saila nisrita vajram. Dhyaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam. Dhyaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam. Yachausanisrita sarit pravarodakena. Tirtena mudhne adikritena Siva Sivo Bhud. Dhyatur mana samala saila nisrita vajram. Dhyaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam. Yachauchanisrita sarit pravarodakena. Tirtena murdini adikritena Siva Sivo Bhud. Dhyatur mana samala saila nisrita vajram. Dhyaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam.
Ya chauchan visishta sarit pravarodakvina. Ya chauchan visishta sarit pravarodakvina. Dietina murdanya dikritena shiva shivobhut. Dietina murdanya dikritena shiva shivobhut. Yatur mana samala saira drista vajram. Yatur mana samala saira drista vajram. Yaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam. Yaye chiram bhagavata charanarvindam.
Yet the Lord's lotus feet. Saucha, washing. Nisrita, gone forth. Sarit Pravara, of the Ganges. Udakena, by the water. Tirthena, holy. Murdhne, on his head. Adikritena, bone. Shiva, Lord Shiva. Shiva, auspicious. Habud, became. Dhyatu, of the meditator. Mana, in the mind. Samalasaila, the mountain of sin. Srisita, hurled. Vajram, thunderbolt. Dhyayet, one should meditate. Chiram, for a long time. Bhagavata, of the Lord. Charana charavindam, on the lotus feet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of the Ganges, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord's feet act like thunderbolt, hurled to shatter the mountains of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of Lord for a long time. Purport. In this verse, the position of Lord Shiva is specifically mentioned. The impersonalists suggest that the absolute truth has no form, that one can therefore equally imagine the form of Vishnu or Shiva or the goddess Durga or their son Ganesh. But actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Master of everyone. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Hadilila, chapter 5, text 142, it is said, Ekala Isvara Krishna Ara Sabhabhritya. The Supreme Lord is Krishna, and everyone else, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, not to mention other demigods, is a servant of Krishna. The same principle is described here. Lord Shiva is important because he is holding on his head the holy Ganges water, which has its own origin in the foot wash of Lord Vishnu in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. By Sanatana Goswami, it is said that anyone who puts the Supreme Lord and the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, on the same level at once becomes a pasandi or atheist. We should never consider that the Supreme Lord Vishnu and the demigods are on an equal footing. Another significant point of this verse is that the mind of the conditioned soul, on account of its association with the material energy from time immemorial, contains heaps of dirt in the form of desires loaded over material nature. This dirt is like a mountain, but a mountain can be shattered when hit by a thunderbolt. Meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord acts like a thunderbolt on the mountains of dirt in the mind of the yogi. If a yogi wants to shatter the mountain of dirt in his mind, he should concentrate on the lotus feet of the Lord and not imagine something void or impersonal, because the dirt has accumulated like a solid mountain. One must meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for quite a long time. For one who is accustomed to thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord constantly, however, it is a different matter. The devotees are so fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord that they do not think anything else. Those who practice the yoga system must meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. After following the regulative principle and thereby controlling the senses. It is specifically mentioned here, Bhagavata Charana Ravinda, one has to think of the lotus feet of the Lord. The Mayavadis imagine that one can think of the lotus feet of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma or the goddess Durga to achieve liberation, but this is not so. Bhagavata specifically mentioned, Bhagavata means of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, and no one else. Another significant place in this verse is that Shiva, Shivo, Bhut. By his constitutional position, Lord Shiva is always great and auspicious, but since he has accepted on his head the Ganges water, which emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord, he has become even more auspicious and important. The stress is on the lotus feet of the Lord. A relationship with the lotus feet of the Lord can even enhance the importance of Lord Shiva, what to speak of other ordinary living entities. Om Ajnanatimmarandasya Jnanananjana Salakaya Chaksuranmalitam Yeno Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vitam Sam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamame Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evecha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadharo Sri Vasali Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yachaucha Nisrita Sarit Pravoro Dakhena Tirtena Murdhini Adikritena Siva Sivo Bhut Dhyaturmana Samala Saila Nisrita Vajram Dhyaye Chiram Bhagavata Charanaravindam. The blessed Lord Shiva becomes all the more blessed by bearing on his head the holy waters of the Ganges, which has its source in the water that washed the Lord's lotus feet. The Lord's feet act like a thunderbolt hurled to shelter the mountains of sin stored in the mind of the meditating devotee. One should therefore meditate on the lotus feet of Lord for a long time. So it's a very beautiful purport Prabhupada has given. It's a beautiful verse. How by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, the mountains of sins, the karmic reaction we have accumulated from many, many births can be washed away from us simply by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord. Actually, devotees are focusing on the lotus feet of the Lord because they know, they have realized that the auspicious part of the Lord's body is at the lotus feet of the Lord. Many pujari who are doing pujari work, who have been dealing with the deity all the time, they may be able to see there are 19 auspicious marks are there on the lotus feet of the Lord. There are 19, yeah. You've seen the deity's feet there?
One is Goddess, one is Krishna.
Yeah. So today we'll see Krishna. So there are 19 auspicious marks are there at the lotus feet of Krishna. On the right lotus feet of the Lord, there are 11 auspicious marks. On the left lotus feet of the Lord, there are 8 auspicious marks. See, on the right lotus feet, the 11 are the, number 1, there is the barley corn. Number 2, disc. Number 3, upward curving line. Number 4, upward curving line. The line goes upward. Number 4, lotus. Number 5, goat. You know the goat they use to control the elephant. And number 6 is a flag. Number 7, thunderbolt. Number 8, umbrella. Number 9, octagon. Number 10, swastika. Number 11, rose apple. These are the 11 on the right lotus feet of the Lord. And on the left hand side, there is the conch. Number 1, conch. Number 2, sky. Number 3, bow. Number 4, number 3, bow. Number 4 is the calf's hoof print. Number 5 is triangle. Number 6 is water pot. Number 7, half moon. Number 8 is fish, much fish. See, these are on the left lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So now what they represent, the auspicious marks on the lotus feet of Krishna is there. Number 1, on the right hand side there is the barley corn. Barley corn represents that, to sustain anybody's life, there's requirement of food grain into their life. And by focusing on the lotus feet of Krishna, they easily get, the eating their food grains by meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. They no need to worry where they're going to get their food. No need to worry. And number 2 is that they got, barley corn. Number 2 is the disc. That the disc, there are 6 enemies the human being have got in their mind: kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. That, number 1, different kinds of desire. Number 2, anger. Number 3, greed. Number 4, illusion. And kama, krodha, moha, lobha, mada. Number 5 is madness. And number 6 is enviousness. So by meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna, these 6 enemies will be removed from our mind. Number 3 is the upward curved line is that will, by meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna, one's life will be going more upper towards the origin, towards the kingdom of the Lord. Number 4 is lotus. The lotus lives always in the water. Similarly, those devotees wants to get the mercy of the Lord. If their eyes are anointed with the devotion towards the Lord, always they are like a crying to see the Lord. They get the great blessing of the Lord, lotus. Number 5 is the goat, the instrument kept to control the elephant. Is that our mind is like a mad elephant. It can be controlled by focusing at the lotus feet of Krishna. And number 6 is the flag. When you're lost somewhere, then you do not know where are you. And looking around, suddenly you see the German flag. You feel, oh, I've come to my country. So you felt settlement in your journey of life by focusing into the flag of the lotus feet of the Lord. And number 7 is the thunderbolt. Prabhupada has mentioned here a thunderbolt that you could have accumulated mountains of sin in your life, but it's like a thunderbolt. Just by meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord, a thunderbolt, it clears the sin very quickly. And number 8 is that umbrella. That by coming to the Lord, just like Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill for the gopis as an umbrella to protect them, similar way, when you're focusing on the lotus feet of Krishna, you also will be protected, like how the gopis been protected in Vrindavan. That is the thunderbolt, umbrella. Then umbrella, then swastika is there. I have to go back. Number 1 is the Balikon, disc, curved line, lotus, and goat, flag, thunderbolt, umbrella, octagon. Octagon has got 8 directions. So when you come to Krishna, all these 8 directions, you'll be protected from all these 8 directions. That resembled octagon. And number 9 is the swastika. German are very, I think, Hitler had a swastika with him. So the swastika is to clear all the inauspiciousness in your life. And number 11 is the rose apple. That represents the Jambudvip. That the material world is behind the Jambudvip of the 7 islands. That by coming and focusing at the rose apple at the lotus feet of God, you will be delivered from the material world of Jambudvip. Now on this side, on the left hand side, lotus feet, there is the conch. So by blowing the conch, you clear all the obstacles, like the chapter 1 of 15 of Bhagavad Gita. That it been mentioned, Sanjaya said, Panchajanyam Rishikesa, Krishna blows his Panchajanya. There is already the victory, is already been confirmed by blowing the conch. So devotees, they understand by looking at the lotus feet, conch on the lotus feet of Krishna, all the obstacles on the path of Krishna consciousness will be cleared from them. Conch. And number 2 is that on the left hand side, number 2 is that sky. The sky looks very unlimited. We do not know where it's beginning, where it's ending. In the same time, the sky, is removed, aloof all the time. So by looking at, lotus feet of Krishna, we always remain very detached from the material world. And number 3 is bow. By meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord on the bow, that a person becomes free from 3 kinds of miseries in his life. And number 4 is the calf's hoof print. whatever the bigger problem in the material world for a devotees become like the cups of spring, they overcome this problem. And number 5 is that triangle. There are devotees who comes to Krishna and meditate on the triangle at the lotus feet of Krishna. They become free from the 3 modes of material nature. And number 6 is that triangle. Number 6 is that what is that? Triangle, then half moon later, the water pot. And Krishna carries the water pot. It's like a Ganges river to purify the life of a human being by focusing into that water pot. At the lotus feet of Krishna, you have gone into the bathing of Ganga and came out. You purified. And number 7 is the half moon. Like Lord Shiva said also is half moon, to bring the coolingness in the heart of the devotee. The sun brings the hot, the moon brings the coolingness, so Krishna brings the coolingness in the heart of the devotees. And number 8 is that fish, like a Matsya. In the devastation, as the final devastation of the world, Krishna comes like a Matsya, like a fish, to uplift the devotees to go back to his planet. So the devotees are very focused into the worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. Here, Prabhupada says for a yogi they have to meditate for very, very long time, but for a devotees there is no requirement to be very long time because of their contribution, their commitment into devotional service to the Lord. So we have to understand, to get that lotus feet of Krishna, you have to engage your senses into the service of the Lord. Ada Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet griyam indriya sevan mukhi jivado swayam eva spratihada. With the contaminated senses, we won't be able to understand the presence of Lord Krishna. But when the senses are purified, for that reason, Rupa Goswami has given us 64 angas of bhakti. Those who wanted to seriously progress, advance in devotional service, they should understand how these 64 angas of bhakti to be applied into their life. Rupa Goswami says that there are first 20 things are there. First 10 out of 64 angas of bhakti you should accept. The second 10 you should reject. When you have done these 2 things, the 10 acceptance, another 10 rejecting, then only your devotional service begin. So the first 10 things we have to accept, on the bhakti devotional service is then number 1, we should take shelter of a spiritual master. Number 2, we should take initiation from a spiritual master. Number 3, we should serve the spiritual master. Number 4, we should inquire from the spiritual master about the Atma Dharma. And number 5, we should follow the order of the spiritual master. And number 6, we should give up, sense gratification as our goal of our life. And number 7, we should go for pilgrimage. Number 8, we should work for the maintenance of the body. And number 9, we should follow the Ekadasi Vrata. And number 10, there are 5 things to be protected in life. The Brahmanas to be protected, the cow should be protected, the old people should be protected, the women should be protected, the children to be protected. So these 10 things we should accept in our coming to Hare Krishna. We are serious about getting the mercy of the Lord. These 10 things we should do. Now another 10 things we should reject, that is that, give up the association of those who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And number 2, give up your big plan of your own. Krishna has got a wonderful plan for you. And number 3, don't desire to make a lot of disciples. Number 4, don't read those books which are not really related to Krishna consciousness. And number 5, not to be carried away by the 3 modes of material nature. And number 6, not to become distressed. And number 7, not to offend the demigods. Number 8, not to offend any other living being. And number 9, no namahaparat, no seva aparat. No, that means while chanting, you don't do any offense. While doing service, personally rendering service to the deity, don't do any offense. Number 10, go away from a place where they are talking bad about the devotees or the Lord. If you wanted to stay and you wanted to relish the argument, then you must able to defeat that person. If you cannot defeat that person, you have to cut off their tongue. If you cannot do that, you go and jump in the well and take your life. So the better you go away from there. So these 10 things we should reject. Now the 10 you accept, 10 you reject. Now you are ready for devotional service to the Lord. Now the real devotional service begin. Now you do 11 things you do with your body, 9 things you do with your mind, 12 things you do with your knowledge, acquiring senses and so on. Now we will see the first 11 things to do with the body. Number 1, you put the tilak on your body. Number 2, when you're putting a tilak in 12 places of your body, you utter the name of the 12th name. Number 3, you put the garland around your neck which has been offered to the Lord. Number 4, you dance in front of the Lord. Number 5, you bow down after dancing, bow down in front of the Lord. Number 6, when you are getting up, after bowing down, you straight, you look at the Lord. And number 7 is that you go to the Radhayatra festival of the Lord. Number 8, you go to the temple of the Lord. Number 9, you circumambulate the temple of the Lord 4 times. And number 10, now you do a menial service like sweeping the floor, mopping and washing pot. And number 11, you do some puja for the Lord. These are the 11 things you do with your body. Now there are 9 things to be done with your mind. That after becoming a devotee, whatever happens in your life, whether according to your plan, whether you like it or don't like it, anything happens in your life, you take it as a blessing of Krishna. And number 2, always remember Krishna. Number 3, never forget Krishna. Number 4, be a servant of Krishna. Number 5, be a friend of Krishna. Number 6, you take some gift for Lord Krishna. Number 7, whatever you are taking for Lord Krishna, take a quality one. Number 8, whatever you are giving, give it wholeheartedly, don't complain. And number 9, that finally be ready to give yourself. These 9 things to be done with your mind. So now the first 10 we have accepted, second 10 rejected, 20. Then body with body we have done 11, 31. Now with the mind we have done 9. That is altogether 40. Now remaining are the 24. So now there are 12 things to be done with the knowledge acquiring senses. That is the ear, the eyes, the nose, the tongue and the skin. So with your ear you may hear the message of the Lord. 1. Number 2, with your eyes you see the beautiful Vigraha form of the Lord. Number 3, with your eyes you see the puja, the worship of the Lord. Number 4, with your nose you smell the fragrance of flower offered to the Lord. Number 5, with your mouth you sing bhajan, independent by yourself, only you and Krishna. Number 5. And number 6, now with the congregation, with all the devotees, you sit and do the bhajan. And number 5, with your mouth, you chant japa Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Number 8, now you got anything to speak, any problem, you go and speak to Krishna, you will be able to settle your problem. And number 9, with your mouth, you do some glorification prayer, like a Kundi Devi, she said, she said, just like the Ganges river flowing without any hindrance, let my, attractions to fall at your lotus feet. So number 9, you do some glorification for Krishna with your mouth. Number 10, you take some prasadam offered to the Lord. Number 11, you take charnamrita offered to the Lord. And number 12, with your skin, you touch the Vigraha form of the Lord. These are the 12 things you do with your knowledge acquiring senses. So 40 and 12, 52. Now there are 4 things are there. Is Tadiya Sevaya. There is that. Number 1, service to the Tulasi. Number 2, service to the Vaishnavas. Number 3, service to the Madhura Vrindavan. When you are there, you do some service there. Number 4, Grantha Seva, reading Prabhupada books, also another service to the Vedic literatures. So now 56 ready. There are 3 festivals are there. There are small festival you celebrate in your house with your family. Big festival like Radhastami, like Janmastami, Gaur Purnima, Narsingha Chaturthi and so on. You come to the temple and celebrate with the devotees. And number 3, Kartik Vrata for a month. 1 month there's a Kartik Vrata is there. You follow the Kartik Vrata. So these are the 3, the festival, how you do it, celebrate yourself. Now 59 ready. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, now there are 5 important things are there. Number 1, you sit and hear the Bhagavatam with great, in the association of the devotees. Number 2, you worship the deity with great faith. Number 3, you always be in the association of the devotees. Number 4, always chant the holy name of the Lord. And number 5, if possible, you go and live in Vrindavan, or you go and die in Vrindavan. But Germany is not a good place to die. Also not very good place to live.
We know this.
Too much Maya in Germany. If you are in Vrindavan, you know that you forget about Germany, time and everything. Isn't it very easy to be a devotee in Vrindavan, Mayapur, But Prabhupada says if any places, if there are more than 10 good devotees, Vaishnava, that place is considered as good as Vrindavan and Mayapur. So surely out of, many devotees in Germany, surely we can find more than 10 good Vaishnava. So your Germany also now Vrindavan. So in this way, there are 64 angas of bhakti. This is given by Rupa Goswami. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Samsara Sarpa Dristi Murchitanam Kalau Yuge Ausadim Bhagavan Nama Tasmad Vaishnava Sevanam. He says, my dear Lord, out of all those things, there are 2 only very important, he says. 2 are very important. Number 1, he says, always a devotee should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Number 2, always you should keep in the association of the Vaishnavas. So 64 maybe appear to be a lot. But if you are very serious, we can look into how to chant very properly, how to keep always in the association of the devotees. In this way, now Lord Shiva here become more blessed, he become more auspicious, because the Mother Ganga is falling on his head, because Mother Ganga is not different from the water emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord. When the Lord had taken a Vamana avatar, he went to Bali to ask for 3 steps of land. For 1 step, he has covered the entire earthly planet. Another step, he has covered, the heavenly planet. And for the 3rd step, he was asking where to put. Bali says, to put on my head. That is how Bali surrendered everything unto the lotus feet of the Lord. In this way, when Vamana took his feet up to the heavenly planet, and Lord Brahma there, he washed the Vamana's lotus feet, and then he was keeping that water in his Kamandulu. And when Bhagirath Maharaj, the descendant from the Ikshvaku dynasty, where Lord Ram Dasarath has appeared, because in that descendant, the king Sagara, he was performing an Aswamedha Yajna, to prove to the world that he is the supreme power, he is the king of the kings. And for somebody who wants to prove that they are very big, like nowadays people are fighting, Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, Israel, China, and so on, all wants to show their power. And those days, to show that, they are more greater than any other nation, they release their horse. The horse goes around to every other nation, And any kings, they understand, I cannot do anything with this horse because coming from Germany. So Malaysia sees the Germany horse is coming. We don't want to get in trouble with Germany, like Hitler is there. So like that. And nobody disturbed the horse. Everybody, they surrender. They don't tie the horse. That means, those who perform the Aswamedha, the Yajna, he been, declared that he is the supreme power in the world. So King Sagara, he released the horse, and the horse went around, but Indra got a little bit disturbed because Indra thought, if this man become very powerful and it is very difficult for my own position, I may have to lose my position. So he stole one of the horse from the Aswamedha Yajna. Then, he released the horse, left the horse in a sage Kapila where he was meditating. Now the King Sagara's children, 60,000 children, they went around, looking, there is no horse is missing, who have stolen, and they found the horse in the hermitage of Lord Kapila, the sage Kapila. Then they thought, this is Kapila Rishi, this the sage have stolen the horse. So they wanted to kill him, but the sage already knows that, they wanted to do something bad. So he burned them into ashes. So 60,000 of them became ashes. So what to do, he says that, only way you have to bring the Ganga to purify. So then their grandson, Ansuman, he knows this thing, but he was not able to do anything. Now his grandson, King Bhagirath, then he meditated to the, lotus feet of the Lord, and somewhere at the Ganga Devi has agreed to come down. But she said, my force will be very forced, then it will demolish everything, so it's very difficult. At that moment, Lord Shiva has agreed to hold the Ganga water on his head, So in this way, the Ganga water is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord and falling on the head of Lord Shiva, so Lord Shiva become more glorious. Just like Lord Ram wants to build the bridge, of Lanka to go and take back Sita from that side. And he wants to build the bridge, but the Varuna, the ocean, the god of ocean, is not giving away for Lord Ram. And Lord Ram, he took out his, bow and arrow. He want to shoot Varuna, the god of ocean, And that time the ocean god, he was laughing at Lord Ram. He said, I'm not scared of your, arrow. Ram says, how come? Because, your brother Bharat, he has taken your shoe, Paduka, and he is, worshipping your Paduka, and he is every day doing Abhishek, bathe the Paduka, the shoe, and the water coming into my ocean, and water washed your shoe, your Paduka comes to my ocean. I've taken shelter of your lotus feet, the water washed your lotus feet. How you can be able to kill me, So that is how powerful. Even, when they wanted to build, Hanuman was very busy carrying the stone. They wanted to make a bridge for 800 miles. And when he was, very busy chanting Ram's name is going, and Hanuman is not different from Lord Shiva himself, and he was assisting Lord Ram. And when he was carrying the stone, that time, the planet Saturn came there. Saturn is, normally people don't like the Saturn planet. There are 9 Navagraha called, 9 planets. The sun planet, the moon, the Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. These are the 9 planets controls the life of the human being in the world. So now the Saturn planet is the god of justice. Nobody like a policeman, Even they don't do anything, but people, when you are driving, at the back, policeman coming, you feel, did I make any mistake here? You feel something. So, the Saturn, he comes to everybody's life for 7.5 years to give them some, test and tribulation. You have to pass the test, to put you into the right path. So now when Saturn, that time he came to Hanuman, he says, now your time has come, Hanuman, 7.5 years. I have to sit on your head, and then I have to make sure that, you're going to the right direction. Hanuman says, I have no time for you. I'm very busy in the service of Ram. Don't disturb me. He said, no, I have to do my work, that's what Saturn said. I also been appointed by Lord Ram to do my work. So you do your work, I do my work. So Hanuman said, so what do you want to do now? And he said, I have to sit on your head. If I wanted to give problem to people, I go in a different ways. To some people, I become a dog and bite them. To some people, I become a snake and bite them. For some people, I become a husband and then, abuse them. For some people, I become, boss and, in the workplace, I will abuse them. So I will do different. But for you, I have to come and sit on your head. Hanuman said, okay, you sit. You sit, then I do my work. So Hanuman, when the Satan sat on the head of Hanuman, and Hanuman busy carrying the stone, and then Hanuman was chanting Ram's name, and he was taking the stone and putting on top of the Saturn planet. And then he take another stone and put, underneath there is a Saturn is sitting. He put one stone by another stone by another stone, and then Saturn feel very much pain. Saturn said to Hanuman, oh, please let me go, please let me go. And Hanuman said, I did not call you to come, but you have come. So you have to tolerate the pain. You do your work, I do my work. So while chanting Ram's name, again he piling up more stone, and then Saturn said, I surrender to you, Hanuman. Whatever boon you want, I'll give it to you. Please let me go. Then Hanuman said, I will ask for only one boon. Anybody is chanting the Lord's name, you don't go to them. Don't disturb them. They are very great devotees of the Lord. Hanuman has given his promise that anybody chanting the Lord's name, the Saturn, he won't trouble the devotees. So devotees are free from the trouble of Saturn planet by the mercy of this Lord Shiva, the Hanuman. So in this way, it's about 6 o'clock already going to be puja.
You can continue. It's okay.
So in this way,
Yeah. And I don't think nobody comes for chanting. We rather hear.
We want to hear.
We want to hear.
You can continue speaking.
oh, no puja?
She makes puja,
She
but
makes puja, but we want to
silent.
hear.
Please.
So in this way that, that Lord Shiva comes as Hanuman also to make sure that the devotees are always protected from any kinds of negative elements in the world. So now this morning we've been hearing also how that, even we are performing devotional service, but sometimes we may not able to also get the total blessing of the Lord. Why? Because, number one, the Vishnu Dutta says that number one is that, a person who hasn't got, don't have a stable knowledge in their life. Number two is that a person who taking the knowledge from a very doubtful sources. Number three, they are not, concentrating in the hearing of the message of the Lord. Number four, they are not concentrating in the chanting the name of the Lord. And number five, they are, not having faith in the spiritual master. And number six, the family don't have a proper ethic in their life. Number seven, those who are doing oblation for their forefathers, they were not qualified. Number eight is that, they're giving charity to somebody who is not very qualified. And number nine, they're living in a place without the association of the devotees. And number 10, those people who do not develop humility in their life also won't be able to cross over. So Prabhupada, one devotee asked Prabhupada how we can become a good devotee. Prabhupada says, if you know today is your last day in the world, you'll become a good devotee. There is no tomorrow in your life. That means if you know that you're going to die, maybe today is your last day, Prabhupada said, become a good devotee. Why people making all kinds of trouble and difficulties, all kind of, bad plan and everything, because they think they're going to live here for a long time. But devotees, they don't believe they are, here for eternity, going to be immortal here. They understand the words of Lord Krishna in the text, chapter 2, text 27. Chatasya hi dhruvam mritur dhruvam janma mrityascha tasmad aparya haririte natom sochitum harhasi. Krishna said, anybody born in this world, very sure to die. Anybody die, they're very sure to take birth again. The devotee understand the very word of Krishna that any time our life will be taken away from here. So for that reason, the devotees always make sure that they always remain very good devotees of the Lord. Here, like we've been hearing from Virkasura, even a person who have given him the benediction, Lord Shiva has given him the boon, but he becomes very ungrateful to attack a person who have, assisted in his life, So they are generally the demigod worshippers, they've got a lot of material desires. For that reason, they do anything. They go to any demigods, they go to any, so-called, Swamijis and sadhus, just to gain some material benefits. There was a man, that he was doing, he built one samadhi, and then he was doing some puja in the samadhi, and slowly, one by one coming, and then they're sitting in the puja, and they go and tell their friend, oh, you come to that puja in the samadhi, we feel very peaceful, very happy. Slowly a lot of people start coming to the samadhi, and nobody have asked, what is that samadhi? But people thought, just go there, we are feeling very peaceful, and maybe, we may also get some material benediction from there. So slowly the man was making a lot of money from these followers. He was making a lot of money, then he had one son, and the son is, is not very disciplined. He always, he asks the money from the father, you give me some money, give me some money. And the father one day was quite worried, I'm giving so much money every day, but he's still asking more and more. So one day he thought, better I give him, one, big amount of money and send him out from here and let him go and, survive by himself so he can learn something. The father gave him one big bundle of money with, one baby donkey. So he took the baby donkey, then he went with the money. So on the way he was going, after a few days, the baby, donkey died. So with his money, he made one samadhi like his father. So he started doing puja for the samadhi. So nobody asked him, what samadhi is this? Like in India you go. So they come, oh, I go and sit there, I feel very peaceful, I feel very peaceful. Then slowly people start coming. Then he was making more money than the father. He became more famous than the father. So one day the father came to see him, how you became more famous than me? He said, oh, Papa, you don't remember? You gave me that money and the donkey, and the baby donkey died. With the money I made this samadhi, and I become very rich because people are coming here. Then he said, my only, regret is that, sadness is that I do not know what happened to the, baby, the donkey's mother. The father says, that samadhi I am worshipping, that is a mother. So in this way, nobody asks anything. Practically you go to, Asian country, in India, practically anything and everything, people don't really very much inquire. They simply go. But people become very scared to become a devotee of Krishna because they feel, just like the Pandavas been suffering so much, they feel that you become a devotee that, Krishna gives you a lot of problem. And even to keep Krishna's, the chariot, picture, Krishna, and the Indians normally, when they got any problem in their house, and somebody come and see that picture that Krishna is driving the chariot, Arjuna is sitting at the back, and they will tell you better remove the picture from here, that is where your problem is coming. So generally people, find it very difficult. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Krishna, my dear Lord, we do not know anybody else other than you, but why there are so much problem for us? Krishna says, Yasyaham anugraha name arisye tadhanam sane. He says, my dear Arjuna, it is all my mercy for you. What is that? My mercy is that you will be able to understand the naked beauty of the material world. A lot of people who have not come to Krishna consciousness, they have not seen the naked beauty of the material world. Still they got some hope out there. The naked beauty is that when you are somebody today, there are friends around you, when you become nobody at one time, and nobody wants to be your friend, just like the Prime Minister, he may have a lot of admirers, but the moment he become a beggar, nobody wants to know him. We do not know who's our friend, who's our enemy. When Jaitirtha Swami, Bhakti Tirtha Swami, once he went to meet Muhammad Ali, the boxer, and he was given appointment 7 o'clock morning. And he went to see, but the time he went there, already many people are already waiting, in his bungalow, in the ground floor. And after that, Muhammad Ali came down from his upstairs room, and he came to Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and he told the Swami, he said, look at all these people, they are like a vulture, when the vulture is flying very high, its only focus is dead body. So all these people have come to see me, but they've come with certain interest in themselves. And among them, I do not know who's my friend, who's my enemy. Today, our situation in the world, even within the same family, we do not know whether we are living with friends or we are living with enemies. According to the Bhagavatam, it says that friends and enemies from your previous life are born in the same family in this life. If your husband, if your wife, abuse you, that means, you were enemies in the previous life. Now come in the name of husband and wife and abuse each other. If you are very good friends in the previous life, you treat each other in a very loving manner. So whatever karma has not been paid, settled in the previous life, this life, settlement takes place within the same family. So in the same family, there are friends are born, there are also enemies are born. That's why sometimes we find some children are very good in the family, in the same family, some children are very badly behaved. There was in India, that the son, he was angry with his mother, only son, and he was not really going to the college to study. He was hanging around with all these bad friends. Mother always getting on his case, what you are doing with all these friends, useless fellows, you should focus into your study. But every time the mother advised him, he's not happy to hear. And in this way that, one day he went for exam and then, came back. After that, he didn't say anything to the mother. After 3 months when the result came out, every of a neighborhood, the children brought the result, but he did not bring any result to show to the mother. The mother came to know that he didn't even went and sat for the exam. So she got very angry and then she gave him, scolded him very much on that day. And he got very angry. He went to the kitchen, he took a knife and he came and poked his mother for 21 times. And he took the blood and then right on the wall, today, the hell has gone away from me. So in this way, only son who've been given so much of love, what is the requirement for him to kill his own mother? That is, he was the previous life, he was a great enemy of the mother. Today they come in the same family. So sometimes Krishna gives little bit of test and tribulation for the devotee, so that devotee will be able to understand the naked beauty of the material world is temporary in nature. Mamupetya punajanma dukhalayam asasvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam ghatem. That in the chapter 8:15, chapter 8:16, Krishna explained that abrahma bhuvana loka, that material world is temporary place and is full of miseries. Sometimes we don't understand this thing. We are thinking that it's a very beautiful place, so we got a great hope on this thing. So Krishna sometimes gives some sort of test and tribulation to the devotees, so that when they go through this passage of test and tribulation, they develop the wisdom in their life. You see, you need the wisdom in your life. Just reading the book, talking only is not enough for you. You must have a practical experience in your life. Like you take a cookbook, there are 100 recipe in the cookbook. Every day you're reading for 10 years the cookbook, and you're glorifying the cookbook. This recipe like that recipe like that. You're only talking, but never tried any of these recipe. So when you are given a kitchen and pot and everything, then you go and try to cook, and it may not come out the way you are glorifying. Just like a man, he read a cookbook and then he went to kitchen, he put a pot, he put, whatever grains to everything, throw everything, then he kept it in the kitchen, came out, and after half an hour you go and see, nothing has happened, never cooked nothing. So he called his friend, I followed the cookbook, but nothing, nothing is cooked, A friend asked him, have you, you turn on the fire? He said that was not written in the book. So like Krishna said, you need a wisdom in your life. That is why you need the association of the devotees. The devotees like a soap, people are using, Lux, soap, some sort of soap, to cleanse their body. So devotees are like a soap, they can cleanse, the shortcomings in your life, the mountains of dirt in our heart can be cleared. So Krishna was asked by Uddhava. Uddhava asked Krishna, are you a real friend of the Pandavas? Krishna said, why you doubt about it? Then Arjuna said, if you are a real friend, okay, you tell me what is real friend means. Krishna said real friend means good time and bad time you always stick with your friend. Good, not only good time you're there, bad time you run away from there. Then Arjuna said, are you good friend of a Pandava? He said, why you doubt? He said, no, the Pandavas were in a great difficulty, but you did not go and help them. They were playing the dice game, but why you don't go and help them? And Krishna said, they didn't invite me. Well, then Uddhava said, you only go when you are invited. Krishna said, not like that. I was there when they were playing. Just by conscious of me, if a Yudhishthira would have thought of me, he wouldn't have gone into that game. I would have given him the intelligence, but he has forgotten me. And he said, look, wisdom is very important. Krishna said, to be success in your life, you must have a wisdom. There's only rule. That means the experience of life. He said at that time when they're playing the game, Duryodhana had the wisdom. Duryodhana knows that I do not know how to play the game. Only person can play well is my uncle Saguni. So he called Saguni and employed, got him into the game to play on behalf of him. So Krishna said, I'm also uncle for Yudhishthira. Just like Duryodhana called his uncle to play on behalf of him. So Yudhishthira should have called me to play on behalf of him. But Yudhishthira did not have the wisdom, but Duryodhana had the wisdom. So he said, anybody wants to be successful in their life, they must have that wisdom in their life. So in this way, Krishna puts that devotees in a different situation. Just like, there was an old lady, widow. She is a ardent devotee of Krishna, but she is very poor, widow, old lady, and she been keeping one cow in the house. That is how she survived. Take care of the cow, milk the cow, keep some milk, and sell some milk. She was surviving in that way, but all the time she was meditating on Lord Krishna, that I hope that Krishna one day can come to my house, and I can cook for him, give him some prasadam. And she all the time meditating on this thing, and then Krishna knows that she desired that I should go and eat in the house. So one day Krishna took Arjuna and went to the lady's house. A very poor lady, living in a small hut, nothing much in the house. But when Krishna went there, he told the lady, I'm very hungry, so can you prepare some food? And she was waiting for this time, and immediately she ran to the kitchen. Whatever was there, she took. She made everything for Krishna. Nothing much, poor lady. And Krishna ate everything. After eating everything, he never left anything for the lady. With Arjuna ate everything, and Krishna said, thank you so much. Krishna left. So on the way back, Arjuna told Krishna that, Krishna, I think you're very ungrateful. Krishna said, why? He said, look, the lady was surviving only with one cow. And whatever was there, she cooked and given you ready. And nothing there left, for the lady. And you should give her a blessing like you have given to Sudama and all. But you never say any blessing. You say thank you and you left. How come you, never give anything, any blessing? So I think you are very ungrateful. Krishna says, before I was eating the food, I already blessed the lady. Arjuna asked, "No, what blessing you give to the lady?" So I bless the lady that one cow in the house should die. And Arjuna says, how this can be a blessing? It must be a curse. But the lady only got one cow. She's surviving, maintaining her life because of that one cow. Now you said you blessed that the cow must die. How the lady is going to survive? And Arjuna said, after 2 days I take you back there. So after 2 days they went back. And when she went back, because no cow, nothing there, she's all the time free. And she got chanting back, she's chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. She was chanting. And in between said, when Krishna came, he took away the cow, I have nothing much here left, and I have to chant Hare Krishna. And people around the village, they came to know, now that the lady has become a very good devotee of Krishna, now no food, no cow, no nothing. And the people start bringing the rice, dal, everything coming, and the house filled with, all the grains there. And she was only sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. And she was very happy. Then Krishna brought Arjuna, look at the lady now. Last time, very unhappy, always complaining. Now she is very happy chanting Hare Krishna. What was the problem with the lady? The only problem the lady had is that the cow is the only problem for the lady. Because from the morning wake up, she is thinking about the cow. From when morning wake up, she is thinking about the cow, how to bathe the cow, how to milk the cow, how to feed the cow. Only thinking about the cow. Did I say anyway that, think of a cow that, your life will transform, you'll become better? I said, Ananya chintayantuma yajana paryupasate tesam nityabhyuktanam yogam semam vahamyaham. To my devotees, I carry what they left, what they have, what they don't have, and I protect what they have. That's what I promised in the chapter 9, text 22. But this lady was always chanting cow, so how is she going to be happy? So I have to take away the cow from there. So externally, it seems to be, she has gone through a difficult, like something which is not right. But internally, that made a great purification in her life. So in this way that, whatever we are in the association of the devotee, the first priority always should be given for the chanting of the holy name, and to always be in the association of devotees. Prabhupada said, a devotee should do 4 things in their life. Prabhupada said, number one, they should take care of their health. Prabhupada said, devotees should take care of their health, number 1. Number 2, they should chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Number 3, do some service for Krishna. Number 4, read my book. He said, this is my advice to the devotees. Number 1, take care of health. Number 2, chant Hare Krishna. And number 3, do some service for Krishna. And number 4, read Prabhupada books. So now sometimes, there are devotees staying far away from here. But you go to Vrindavan and some places like Mayapur, even they are staying near. Many may not come to the temple, only a lot of visitors going from a different part of the world. But Alvar, one of the Alvar, great devotee of the Lord from South India, he says that, Tuppudayare Adevadellam Sor Vidattu Tuni Purivar Endru Oppinalam Nenne Adindhen Anekkini Arul Cheidumayal Eippu Vandu Ennai Neliyum Poludhu Edanga Naan Unne Ninikka Maatten Appodhukku Ippodhe Solli Vaithen Aranga Tharavanai Palliyane. In a beautiful way, in the Tamil language, he has said that, he says generally people getting married. This is normal. The parents, sometimes they push the children to get married. Even though the parents themselves know that marriage life is very, very difficult. It's not like, you're a bachelor, that, you're free, you got all your freedom and independence. So the parents know married life is very difficult, But still the parents, push the children to get married. So Alvar says, why? Because the time will come that, you'll become tired of life, The time will come you become old. You may not be able to take care of yourself. So you need another person to help you in your life when you become invalid. So even though it's a difficult path, but the parents, they wanted to go into that, life of, marriage, so that, time to come you need another person's help. So Alvar, he says that, my dear Lord, I don't believe in this kind of, agreement that, somebody will come to help me, but I believe that you will come to help me, because when the elephant Gajendra called you, the elephant was fighting with, crocodile. For 1,000 years they've been fighting, and, when the elephant, Gajendra called you, immediately you came. So for the call of the elephant you have come. So if I call, why you do not come? So I believe that you are everything in my life. And he says that, my dear Lord, my only humble prayer is that while I am healthy, I can walk well, I can talk well, I can hear well, while I'm very healthy and can do everything by myself, let me chant your holy name as much as I can. Let me come to your temple as much as I can. Let me hear the message from you, as much as I can. Let me do some service to you as much as I can, because the time will come that I won't be able to come to your temple anymore due to the invalidness of my body, my health. So while I'm healthy, let me come as much as I can and participate in your services, because the time will come I won't be able to do this thing. And my request is that, my dear Lord, when I come into your temple, you please note it down. Please note it down. My dear Krishna, you are play, you all the time play around, And I scared that you may forget that I visited your temple, this many times. But the time will come, I cannot come, So for that reason, now I do it as much, as I can. So you write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. When the time I cannot come, open my, page, and then you see that I'm not a bad fellow. I've done my part, towards your services. In this way, he says that a devotee should always be very eager to participate in Krishna consciousness as much as they can when they are healthy, when they are valid, and they are able to do, because the time will come in our life we may not able to do much for Krishna. So all these things, can be done, be inspired in the association of the devotees, and here, Lord Shiva has become very glorious by, some service from the Mother Ganga, which has emanated from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So thank you very much for being here today. And tomorrow is a very, very important day for the devotees here from Golok Dham. And one of the great Vaishnava, Lord Shiva is appearing, coming into your Dham to give you a very special protection. And devotees take all the association of the devotees and they progress more in Krishna consciousness. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanande.